The fluorescent lights of the campus health center hummed overhead, sterile and unforgiving. Lucas had always just been a beta, unremarkable, average. The scent of antiseptic hung in the air as the doctor studied his chart, her expression neutral. Your latest blood work shows a significant shift in your hormonal profile. It indicates you are beginning a late secondary gender presentation. The trajectory suggests a high probability outcome of Omega. She spoke with a detached calm, as if discussing a common cold. Lucas felt the floor tilt beneath him. Omega? That wasn't possible. He was just normal. His palms grew slick with sweat against the cool paper of the examination table. Given the markers, your presentation will likely be intense. I strongly advise securing a trusted alpha for support during the transition. Managing it alone could prove difficult. The words echoed in the hollow space of his mind. Find an alpha. The first face that surfaced, unbidden and immediate, was Caleb's. Caleb, star forward for the university's basketball team, an alpha whose very presence seemed to reshape the air in a room. He'd been a constant in Lucas's life since childhood, a steady, protective force. Sometimes Lucas wondered if Caleb looked out for him more than he looked out for himself. The report was clutched in his numb fingers as he stumbled from the building. The quad was bathed in harsh afternoon sunlight, students laughing as they passed, a world moving on while his had just fractured. How did it go? Caleb's voice came from behind, startling him. Lucas shoved the papers into his backpack, his movements jerky. Fine. Everything's normal. The lie tasted bitter. Caleb's gaze lingered, perceptive as always. He suggested getting a smoothie from the campus hub, a familiar ritual that usually settled Lucas's nerves. The blended drink was cold and tart. Lucas held the cup, the condensation cooling his skin. He found himself asking, almost without thinking, his voice quiet, "Is your scent like lemon?" Caleb glanced up from his phone, a slight crease between his brows. He gave a short, affirmative nod. Lately, Lucas had been catching faint traces of it. Clean, sharp, cutting through the everyday smells of classrooms and crowded walkways. He felt a hot wave of shame. Felt like an invasion. Back in his dorm room, he collapsed onto the bed. The scent seemed stuck in his senses. His roommate, Leo, another Omega, came in with bags of groceries, offering a cheerful greeting. He stopped mid-sentence, his nose twitching. "Lucas, what is that? It's coming from you. Did you switch colognes?" Panic shot through him. His hand flew to the back of his neck, finding the skin unnaturally warm. He asked for a scent suppressor patch, his voice tight. Leo tossed him one with a teasing remark about secret admirers. As Lucas applied it, Leo's eyes went wide with dawning comprehension. "No way. You're presenting as an Omega?" Lucas could only nod, the reality crashing down. Leo listened, then leaned forward, his tone turning practical. "You should talk to Caleb. He's like the platonic ideal of an alpha. Do you know how many people in this school would trade places with you right now?" The thought was absurd. Caleb was his best friend. He couldn't just ask for that. It would change everything. A sleepless night of frantic online research yielded a potential, if embarrassing, solution. An Omega's pre-presentation symptoms could sometimes be eased by the proximity of a trusted alpha's scent. Borrowing an article of clothing was mentioned. The idea made his face burn. It felt deceitful, a violation of their friendship. Desperation overrode dignity. When Caleb offered his team jacket after a grueling practice a few days later, Lucas accepted it with a forced casualness. Caleb raised an eyebrow, commenting on the unusual enthusiasm. Lucas mumbled something about school spirit and hugged the fabric to his chest. The familiar, clean detergent smell mingled with that underlying citrus note was instantly, profoundly calming. After another game, he brought Caleb a bottle of water. Caleb stood under the stadium lights, catching his breath, sweat-dampened hair sticking to his forehead. The air around him carried a stronger, more vibrant version of that scent. For a moment, Lucas simply stared, his pulse doing something strange and erratic. See something interesting? Caleb's question pulled him back. Lucas fumbled for an excuse about accidentally dirtying the jacket, offering to wash it. Caleb just shrugged, slinging it over his own shoulder as he walked away. Lucas watched him go, frustration knotting his stomach. That night, driven by a need he couldn't articulate, he did something unthinkable. He slipped into Caleb's usually unlocked dorm room. They'd had keys to each other's places for years, and took a well-worn sweatshirt from the back of a chair. Wrapped in the scent, the frantic buzzing in his mind quieted to a hum. "What are you doing with my clothes?" Caleb was at his doorway the next morning, his voice deceptively even. Lucas froze, the stolen sweatshirt hidden behind his back. "Don't tell me you were cold." Caleb stepped inside, his gaze piercing. "The doctor said something." "What was it?" The pressure of that look shattered his defenses. The confession spilled out in a whisper, a jumble of words about the diagnosis and not knowing who else to turn to. Caleb's expression shifted, something dark and turbulent moving behind his eyes. He closed the distance, backing Lucas against the wall. "Do you have any idea what you're asking?" His voice was low, strained. "Do you know what an Omega's scent does to an alpha? You take my clothes. Do you really trust me that much? Aren't you my best friend?" Lucas whispered, the words sounding small and childish even to him. Caleb braced a hand against the wall, his frame casting a shadow. "Lucas, you trust me too much." The air grew thick, saturated with a potent, overwhelming alpha presence. Lucas's vision swam, the world tilting violently before fading to black. He woke in a clinical white room, the smell of hospital sterling strong. Caleb was slumped in a chair beside the bed, looking wrecked, shadowed eyes, unshaven jaw. A doctor came in, declared Lucas stable, and offered discharge instructions. "Increased physical contact with your bonded alpha will help regulate your system. Kissing, hugging, that sort of thing. Just be safe about it. Pregnancy is a possibility with your hormone levels." Lucas pulled the thin blanket over his head, mortification heating his skin. Later, as Caleb helped him gather his things, Lucas muttered his thanks, clinging to the familiar script of their friendship. Caleb just rested a hand on his head, his fingers accidentally brushing the sensitive gland on Lucas's neck. A sharp, electric jolt shot down his spine. Life after that became a circus. His presentation became campus gossip. Friends reacted with everything from shock to poorly veiled envy. Alphas he'd known for years started finding reasons to sit next to him in lecture halls. One afternoon, a confident alpha from his econ class cornered him outside the library, inviting him for coffee. Before Lucas could form a refusal, a heavy arm settled across his shoulders. "He's busy." Caleb's tone left no room for argument. The other alpha took a step back, offering a weak smile before retreating. In the dining hall, alphas would vacate seats opposite Lucas the moment Caleb appeared. His protectiveness became a constant, smothering presence. Things felt different between them now. Lucas couldn't pinpoint it, but Caleb's looks held a new weight, a hunger that was carefully banked but always there. A family dinner at Caleb's house felt like navigating a minefield. Caleb's parents and his own chatted easily, while Lucas focused on his plate. Caleb, without a word, began shelling shrimp, placing the perfect pink curls onto Lucas's plate. He'd always done things like that. "You know, Mrs. Reed commented, her eyes twinkling. "Those two look rather perfect together, don't they?" Caleb's mother readily agreed. Lucas's head snapped up. He interrupted before the conversation could spiral. "Mom, please. We're just friends. Seriously. Besides," he grasped for a deflection, his hand clapping Caleb's shoulder in a brotherly gesture. "I have my eye on someone else." Caleb's hands stilled. The smile he offered was brittle. "Oh? When did this happen?" "I'll tell you later," Lucas murmured, leaning close. The dinner resumed, but Caleb grew quiet. He disappeared after dessert. Lucas found him later on the back patio, the night air cool. The scent of lemon was faint, mixed with something else, cigarette smoke, and a delicate floral omega scent Lucas recognized. Caleb turned, his eyes searching. "Lucas," he began, his voice rough. "That person you like. Is it real?" Before Lucas could answer, a figure stepped from the shadows. Silas. He was beautiful in a soft, ethereal way, with a gentle smile. Lucas had always thought so. He'd also seen the careful way Caleb looked at him in the past. "I didn't know you'd be here," Silas said, his voice like silk. "Caleb and I were just catching up." The pieces clicked into a painful place. Lucas offered a tight smile. "I'll leave you to it." He didn't get 2 steps before Caleb's hand fisted in the hood of his sweater, dragging him back. Caleb's jaw was set in a hard line as he addressed Silas. "We have to go. We'll finish that discussion another time." The car ride was a silence so profound it felt like a physical entity. Lucas watched the streetlights blur past. Caleb's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. "Caleb, your scent," Lucas finally said, his own neck beginning to throb with a sympathetic pain. "It's too much." A low growl rumbled in Caleb's chest.
"I'm sorry."
My cycle came early. He wrenched the car to the curb, fumbling in the console for an inhibitor syringe. The clinical click of the auto-injector was horrifying. Caleb jabbed it into his own thigh, his breath hissing through his teeth. "Lock the doors. Someone's coming to get you." He stumbled out of the car into the cold night. Lucas didn't see him for days. Calls went unanswered. A gnawing worry drove him to Caleb's family home. The housekeeper, Mr. Lewis, politely but firmly barred the door. It only confirmed his fears. Using a forgotten gap in the hedge from their childhood, he crawled into the backyard and slipped inside. The hallway leading to Caleb's room was saturated with a suffocating, aggressive pheromone. Felt like wading through syrup. He knocked. The door was yanked open, and he was pulled into absolute darkness. Heavy curtains blocked all light. Caleb's arms locked around him vice-like, his face buried in Lucas's hair. "Don't move." The voice was a raw scrape of sound, brimming with a possessiveness that was terrifying. Lucas remembered reading that an Omega's scent could soothe. He tried to release a tiny, controlled amount. Instead, a wave of sweet, ripe strawberry scent flooded the room, tangling with the sharp lemon. Caleb shoved him away so violently Lucas stumbled. "Get out." The roar was pure, unfiltered fury. "Now." Tears of hurt and confusion sprang to Lucas's eyes. He'd only been trying to help. He flung the bag of supplies he'd brought at Caleb and fled, sobbing as he passed a startled Mr. Lewis in the foyer. Back in his dorm, he vented online anonymously. "My alpha friend was in a bad way and screamed at me to leave. Should I cut ties?" The replies were swift and illuminating. "You're an Omega and you went to him during a cycle? Are you trying to get bonded? He let you leave? That's impressive restraint. Sounds like love to me." The comments painted the incident in a stark, new light. Shame and a dawning, terrifying understanding burned his ears. He'd been an idiot. Caleb appeared under his dorm window a week later, holding a pastry box from a boutique bakery 3 towns over. Lucas ignored him. He ignored him for 3 days. Finally, cornered after class, Lucas tried to walk past. Caleb caught his arm, his usual composure shattered. His words tumbled out in a desperate, sleep-deprived rush. "I'm sorry. I was afraid I'd hurt you. Please don't shut me out. You kissed me, Lucas. You can't pretend that didn't happen." Lucas stared. Caleb's eyes were red-rimmed. He was crying. A strange, tender ache spread through Lucas's chest. He reached up, cupping Caleb's face. "I don't like that other guy." I turned him down. The relief on Caleb's face was palpable. Lucas felt a surge of courage, mixed with a need to understand. "Caleb, is your cycle still affecting you? You said you liked me. Was that the real you or the cycle talking?" Caleb's breath hitched. All of me. Every version of me. That was all Lucas needed. He pulled Caleb down, their lips meeting in a kiss that was tentative, then fierce. It was Caleb who finally broke it, resting his forehead against Lucas's, his breathing unsteady. Later, giddy with confession, Lucas told his roommates everything. Leo, munching on an apple, brought up the lingering question. But what about Silas? I thought he was the one. The doubt resurfaced. Lucas called Caleb, who promised an explanation was coming, but swore on everything that his feelings for Silas were not what Lucas thought. A follow-up medical appointment a month later gave Lucas a clean bill of health, with the usual S about his upcoming cycle. Leaving the clinic, he almost collided with Silas, who looked pale and frail in a hospital gown. A nurse handed him a clipboard. Sign here to confirm the termination. Lucas's stomach dropped. He helped Silas to a chair, his voice gentle. Where's your alpha? How could he let you come alone? A sad smile touched Silas's lips. It's my choice. He doesn't even know. Lucas called Caleb, who arrived swiftly. Before he could speak, a group of severe-looking men in dark suits surrounded them. A man stepped forward, his presence commanding and icy. Silas, come here. Lucas, despite his fear, stepped between them, unleashing a torrent of angry accusations. The man, introduced by Caleb as Adrian, listened with a stony face. Caleb drew Lucas back, murmuring for him to let them handle it. A short while later, Silas and Adrian emerged from a private room. Silas's hand was held firmly in Adrian's, a new, massive diamond glittering on his finger. He thanked Lucas, his eyes softer. We're gonna try again. It's complicated, but it's what I want. After they left, Lucas turned to Caleb, horrified. I called that man every terrible name I could think of. Caleb's lips quirked. He'll live. And he deserved it. The letter you saw years ago, it was from Adrian to Silas. I was just the delivery boy. There was never anyone else. The relief was so profound it felt like wings. Caleb nudged him. So when do I get to be? If you say Dad, I swear I will scream. Lucas cut him off, laughing. Caleb's eyes glinted. You are definitely asking for trouble. At their graduation ceremony, Caleb didn't just accept his diploma. He took the microphone, his eyes finding Lucas in the crowd. He spoke of a love that had grown from the roots of friendship, of waiting, of protection. It was a vow clear and public. Their parents, beaming, immediately began comparing calendars. Silas and Adrian attended, their young daughter cradled in Silas's arms. Lucas, now less intimidated, cooed over the baby. Caleb slipped an arm around his waist, his breath warm against Lucas's ear. Like that, we could have won. Lucas elbowed him gently, his heart too full for words. Years later, on a sun-drenched Saturday, Lucas lay on the thick living room rug, watching their toddler chase the glint of light reflected from a toy. The front door opened, and the comfortable, familiar scent of lemon and home filled the space. Caleb loosened his tie, his briefcase dropped by the door. He crossed the room and sank down, gathering Lucas and their son into one encompassing embrace. He pressed a kiss to Lucas's temple. Long day. Missed you both. The child giggled, reaching for him. Lucas leaned into the solid warmth of Caleb's side, watching their family held in the golden afternoon light. This, he thought. This was the shape of a life built not on what was expected, but on what was chosen, day after day.